God, I condemn you back to hell!
Bathsheba Sherman was born in 1812 with the name Bathsheba Thayer. After that, there's a lot of conflict between the true story, the Conjuring's telling, and the lore surrounding the accused witch. In this video, we're going to dive into the legend and the real figure, and look at the timeline of events in Bathsheba's life and in the haunting of the Perron family both on and off screen. This is one of those times that the Conjureverse dipped into local folklore to get its baddie, so as a result there are wild differences between the movie and the actual history of Bathsheba Sherman. To see everything, including how Bathsheba was set up to possibly appear again in the Conjureverse, hang around till the very end and like the video because that just helps us out a ton. In 1812, Bathsheba was born in Rhode Island, the same place where the tales of her evil activity would thrive for decades. She's thought to be related to Marytown Estes, a woman who was convicted of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials, but no evidence to that lineage has been found. Bathsheba marries Judson Sherman on March 10, 1844, and moves in with him on his farm in Harrisville, Rhode Island. This is the farm where the supposed events would take place, not the Perron house, which was on the same plot of land in 1844, but the land had been split and sold over the years. If you like learning more about your favorite horror franchises, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We have a series called Scary Stories where we break down horror movies, characters, and more. In our Timeline series, we detail the events surrounding your favorite films and horror characters. Hit the notifications button too so you never miss when we post something new. Bathsheba gives birth to her son Herbert in 1851, the couple's only confirmed child, but legend says there were more. Accounts state that Bathsheba would give birth to at least 3 more children, but none of them would live long enough to be documented. This would lead to stories about Bathsheba worshipping Satan and harming the children. It's just as likely, actually a lot more likely, that because infant mortality was much higher in the 19th century than it is today, the children died at birth, and the public, needing to explain something it didn't understand, applied demonic stories to explain what could have just been tragedies in Bathsheba and Judson's family. Bathsheba Sherman passed away in 1885 after she experienced what was described at the time as sudden paralysis. In reality, it's likely that Bathsheba experienced a stroke, which ended up taking her life. By looking at the admittedly lean historical information that exists about Bathsheba Sherman, it appears that she lived a perfectly normal life. Up next, we'll look at the lore surrounding Bathsheba and how her legacy became one of being a powerful witch. It was likely that the deaths of 3 of Bathsheba's children as infants gave rise to the local rumors. Those rumors have since turned into legend, a strong enough one for her to be the focal point of the first Conjuring film. The movie claims that Bathsheba, minutes after giving birth to her child, sacrificed the baby to Satan and then went to a tree out by the water and hanged herself, but not before declaring her allegiance to Satan and swearing that she would curse anyone who lived on her land. This curse led to more than one death. Over time, mothers who lived in the house would succumb to the curse and kill their own children. This is shown in the movie when a spirit tells Lorraine Warren that, quote, she made me. The movie also places Bathsheba at the Arnold estate, which is where the Perron house is. That's simply not true. Bathsheba Sherman lived on the Sherman estate with her husband Judson. However, at the time the Shermans owned the land, the plot was significantly bigger. Over time, the land was subdivided, leading to many suspicious deaths according to the lore. The Arnold estate, what we now know as the Conjuring house, was part of the original Sherman land. So if you believe the lore, that part holds up. Stories have Bathsheba at one point murdering a child with a needlepoint. There is no evidence of any child dying by those means in the area Bathsheba lived in, so it's possible, even likely, that the story is an extension of the tales that rose from 3 of Bathsheba's children dying. That didn't stop Ed Warren, though. He was convinced that the bruises Carolyn Perron was experiencing throughout the haunting were the result of Bathsheba using a needlepoint on her. In the Perron family accounts of the real haunting they experienced, Bathsheba was part of what they faced. The real-life Perrons have stated that many of the spirits in the home were actually pleasant, which is represented in the movie by Rory, who is actually Oliver Richardson, a child who died from an earlier haunting on the property. In The Conjuring, Bathsheba uses Lorraine's locket to discover that the Warrens' daughter, Judy, is how to get to Ed and Lorraine. Perhaps she sees the investigators as a threat, because she appears in the Warren home, releasing Annabelle from her case and attempting to attack Judy Warden. Ed is there to save her just in time. It should go without saying, but none of this actually happened. It's just a way to get a couple scenes in with Annabelle to hype up the first Annabelle movie, which would release the following year. In the franchise, Bathsheba might actually appear again, and there might be room for her to make more appearances. In 2019's Annabelle Comes Home, the Malthus demon releases the spirits trapped in the Warrens' museum, and we see Judy being pulled in her bed by her leg, a trademark Bathsheba maneuver. Could this open the door to the witch appearing again? We'll have to see in Phase 2. Bathsheba is able to possess Carolyn, a power usually only reserved for demons like Malthus or Valak. It's thought that because Bathsheba made so many sacrifices to Satan in the lore, that she was granted some demonic abilities. This is all purely part of the lore, and there's no real evidence to back any of this up. In all likelihood, Bathsheba lived a normal life and passed away from a stroke at the age of 73. But if you're like me and love stories about paranormal events, then the lore about Bathsheba is intriguing, especially because it's endured for so long. It's also found new legs with the Conjuring franchise, and Bathsheba's legacy will live on for years to come. So which baddie in the Conjuring universe is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for all the wonderfully scary content that we publish. Have a great day, and stay strange out there.